We're live.
We're live.
All right.
Still says off air for me.
Oh, you bum. Get with the times.
Oh, there it goes.
There we go. Chuck's
right.
just going to be on a 30-second delay all
Yeah,
day.
That's
today.
right.
All day.
I'm on my iPad, so...
Well, good luck with that.
Yes.
So, Derek, how's Texas treating you today?
Oh, don't ask.
Oh, gosh. You're like, how far are you from Dallas?
About an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. So it's not as,
Yeah,
it's
so
probably not as crazy as like,
Not as crazy as when there was a biker gang at the restaurant next door.
yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, it's yeah. Well, that killed the mood.
Yeah, you think?
Holy cow.
So I should probably report on some things that we talked about last week.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I had me a little chat with Mandy on Friday, and it kind of went the way I wanted and kind of didn't go the way I wanted. But we basically agreed, mainly because I just told her that was how it was going to go. But I talked to you guys, then I talked to my dad, and then I talked to my father-in-law, who incidentally have all run small businesses. My dad's a dentist. My father-in-law is a general contractor. They've hired people. They've done a lot of this stuff. So, I'm like, what in the heck do I do? And so kind of what I came to was that I really want to move everything to fixed pricing, because it seems like the concern is you're automating stuff and you're cutting my hours. And so I felt like, I only want her doing the stuff that I really need her doing, and if I wind up automating something, then if we have that fixed price, then it's a value renegotiation, not an hours being cut negotiation, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, look, we're already doing fixed price on the podcasts. Let's do a per conference price to manage the conferences. Let's do a per job price for any of the other stuff that I've got you doing. And that way I can figure out, Mandy's been doing this and it hurts not to have her doing this, so let's work something out there. Or if she feels like there's something that she's doing that I really ought to be paying her for, then, she can negotiate what that's worth. And she was mostly okay with that. She still felt, I think, a little bit like I didn't appreciate her the way that I ought to. But if I don't recognize that she's doing something, it's because it's not being communicated well that she's doing it. So anyway, and then I also had talked to a few more people, because I was thinking, okay, if this goes sideways, I need to pull somebody in now so they can start editing the podcasts. And so I talked to a few more people, and I realized that everybody I talked to is priced at half what she's charging me per podcast episode to edit it.
Right.
So I went back to her, and during that same conversation, I said, look, I like that I can depend on you, and I like that I can, get this done and that it's done well and that I don't have to worry about it, but I can't ignore the fact that it's half the price. And so I said, is there any way you can come down on that price? And she just told me unequivocally no. So I've talked to a few friends here. I'm probably going to send some episodes around to people, and we'll see what happens. She basically said, well, all those services are crap, and you're not going to get what you want. So I'll see what they do for me, and then if it's crap, then I'll stick with her, and if it's not, then she's probably going to lose that work. And it sucks because I like having a personal relationship with her, but the amount that it would save me is a few $1,000s a month.
Oof.
Yeah.
And I just, that would get me from, boy, I'm right on the edge of being able to, pay everything. And so some months I make it and some months I don't. It would move me into the place where I make it every month and have a little money left over.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is, yeah,
and,
a good
and that's
place to be.
huge. Well, yeah, and then if I have money left over, then I can invest it in other ventures and see if I can, get more people to sign up for conferences by marketing them differently, or pay somebody to help me get my funnel tightened up around webinars or videos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So this is kind of the classic. This is sort of reminds me of the discussion that goes on every time a site like 99 Designs pops up, where people are like, set their hair on fire. They're commoditizing it. Well, guess what? That's what happens.
Yes.
Like you're highly skilled. Something that you're doing that requires a lot of skill now, 5 years from now, will be a commodity, and you're gonna have the goalposts move, and that's just what happens.
Yep.
Exactly.
So what I was paying her 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, whenever she last raised her rates on me, was totally worth it, because she was the only person I could really find who would do that good a job. But the more people I'm talking to, and I actually know several of these people from past podcast conferences and some of the podcasting groups I've been in, because some of the companies are run by podcasters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my buddy Daryl Darnell is downstairs promoting his podcast editing services, and he actually said, "Yeah, this is our price, but I'll give you a bulk rate because you have 5 shows."
Right. Yeah.
I ran into Eric, who edits this podcast. He's here at the booth for Podfly, which edits podcasts. And then you've got Podcast Motor, who isn't here, and I don't understand why. But there are 1 or 2 other companies run by people I know or used by people I know who do this job, and they do it for that price. And what they list as their services is exactly what I'm paying Mandy for at that fixed rate.
Right.
So, I mean, she's on vacation now, and I think we're going to have another discussion over this when she gets back. But it turns out that, I have to do this. And where I really came to was that as much as I want to have a good relationship with Mandy, that money changes the relationship I have with my family.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not worrying about cash flow, then I can be worrying about where are we going to go fishing this weekend, if that makes any sense.
No, it totally does.
So, if it feels almost like I have to pick between making Mandy happy or taking care of my family, and then it's not a decision.
Well, yeah.
So, yep.
I feel like I need to take you over to a women's shelter, an abused women's shelter after that, because it sounds like that same conversation. Oh, where are you going to find someone who those other they're no good. Those other guys, no one will love you like I do, baby. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I really don't like that response of that. Those other services suck. That to me is like, okay, well I don't know. I honestly, Chuck, at this point, I don't think that I think you need to replace entirely. I don't think that this is a viable relationship in my mind because it's so soured at this point in my mind. Yeah. I don't know. You can obviously find someone that's cheaper for the podcast, obviously transition things, but you shouldn't be in the situation where you're feeling guilty. It's your business, it's your livelihood, your asset, your income on the line here, and you should be able to you shouldn't have to worry about what someone's feelings are on the situation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Well, so you're saying this, but the thing is that in the conversation, I basically took everything off her plate. Except for helping organize the conferences and the podcasts. And I'm planning on automating as much of the conference organization as I can anyway, to the point where I'm going to be paying somebody $10 an hour to fill in a form that sends an email out to people, as opposed to paying Mandy her rate to do all the high-touch setup stuff. And then I can manage, or I can have somebody who understands the process manage the emails that come in from the speakers. But those are so few and far between. I think the most hand-holding I've had to do is Dave Thomas, and we're just working out the details because he wants to do something a little bit different with his talk at Newbies Remote Conf. But, it's going to take me all of about an hour total to help Dave out. And all the other speakers are like, okay, what do you want me to do? And maybe a dry run, which is 5 minutes on Crowdcast, so they know what they're dealing with.
So you're basically already there, almost.
I'm pretty much there. And I'm sad that it's kind of going this way, but it's kind of interesting too, because if I hadn't been pushed on this issue in the first place, I wouldn't have even been looking at what rates were for podcast editing. I would have just kept going where I was going.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's her fault because it's my decision, but at the same time, I wasn't even thinking about this a month ago.
Yeah. If you're gonna there's this the drumbeat of raise your rates to freelancers is good, but you have to be also providing way more value. The value has to be so above and beyond that you wouldn't even consider. You look at what these other podcast editors are getting, and you look at what you're getting. You're paying twice as much, but you're like, oh my gosh, I can't live without all this other stuff.
Right.
The vast majority of that and the vast majority of the time, when you are doubling your rate as a freelancer, it's for the next client, not
exactly.
your current.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have multiple.
It's almost never the current client. I mean, I've been working with my client for I've been working with my current client for 2.5 years now, and I've had a 10% bump since I started there, which is reasonable, but it's not I'm going to double my rate. No, that's going to happen at the next client.
Well, and the whole idea of the value-based pricing, right? Which is that you are essentially the reason why you can do that and not be you're either commodity-based pricing or value-based pricing. If you're commodity-based pricing, what that means is that you are charging whatever the rate is. That's hopefully a good deal. Your staff augmentation for this service.
Right.
If you're value-based pricing, your proposition is totally different. It's basically saying, look, this is what I am, when I do this work, I'm charging you 25% of the amount of extra revenue that this work is generating for you, right? And that's for example, when Josh when Josh wrote the copy for the 10 Steps launch, right? It was a pretty simple deal for me because he was like, okay, I'm going to charge you. I think it was $5,000 for this, and then I said, well, $5,000 plus 10% of what over past that, because I really wanted this to be value-based pricing, and it was a pretty good deal for me because I'm in my head I'm thinking, okay, well, the worst that we're going to do is make $10K. So if Josh is going to charge me $5K to make a minimum of $10K, that's value. That's a good deal, right? He can charge that amount. Where someone might have said, "Holy crap, you're going to pay someone $5K to write a page, to write a few emails in the sales page." People did. And I was like, "Wait a minute, you're misunderstanding the point. The point is that you could charge that much. If in that situation, Josh said, "Oh well, I'll just work at an hourly rate," what would the hourly rate be? You see what I'm saying? It's he's got the value-based pricing, and that's where you don't have. There's none of that happening in this situation, and that's what makes it so difficult. Is if Mandy were coming and saying, "Oh, look, I do this, and it's going to generate this extra revenue for you," or it's whatever it is, but that's not happening. She wants to operate as a service, which is fine, but that puts her in the commodity-based pricing, and that means that she's going to have multiple clients in order to run a business that way. And that's and that you're going to eventually going to find that there's going to be competitors, and you're going to have to make the decision based on that. So,
the other thing is that the reasons that I have for sticking with her are that we've been together a long time, and I know what I'm getting.
Again, you got to put your
right. Yeah, but what I'm
shelter.
saying, no, but what I'm saying is it's that versus, for example, if she had said, look because I'm paying her $1,000 a month or a week to do 5 shows, and if she had come to me and said, yeah, that $1,000 a week gets you these things on the list, which are the same things on the list for all of these other services, plus I'll line up your guests, plus I'll do all this other stuff, plus I'll line up all these, so then I'm looking at it and I'm going, oh, so I don't even have to worry about anything, right? So there's this differentiation between what she's offering and what these other folks are offering. Then it's a different conversation, right? Then it's okay. Well, you cost twice as much, but you're cutting my workload down by half. So thumbs up. Right. But if she's not willing to negotiate either on features or on price, and all things being equal, the other folks are half the price, what do I have?
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, just because the price is half as much does not necessarily mean the quality is going to be half either, because they could have people that are like audio engineers that are working for $3 an hour that are spending 20 hours to edit a 1-hour podcast, and it still ends up being cheaper.
Well, the other thing is that I'm not saying I'm moving over there because they're cheaper. Yeah. I'm saying I'm going to give them a chance to prove that I should.
Right.
Right? Exactly. So if I send it over there and I get something back that I can't live with, then I'm not moving.
Yeah.
But,
pretty dangerous position to put yourself in as a vendor.
but like, at half the price, I can't afford not to give them a shot, because if they are good enough and it saves me that much every month, then it's something that I feel like as a responsible business owner and a dad and a husband, I feel like I need to do, because it gives me opportunities to do other things that are important.
When you're in a commodity market like that, your quality doesn't have to be twice as good to double your price. It has to be more like 10x. Right. Yeah. Like, because I mean, even if the quality, even if there's a few more or there's the editing's not quite as tight, like, how many people are really going to notice?
Yeah. See, the value-based way that would work, I think, in this market would be to say, here's what I do. I come in and I take your podcast and I increase its viewership by its listenership by X% by applying these marketing techniques. I'll take over the editing. I'll take over all your stuff. All you gotta do is show up and record. I take care of the rest, and I grow your podcast. I grow the revenue, and I get you sponsors lined up. Right? That's a value based, because then it's like, okay, well, the more that you work, the more money I make. Cool. Work a lot, right? Charge me a lot. Work a lot, right? Then you can charge $10,000 a month, or what because you're making so much. You're clearing. The more you work, and it's going to have to be at that level. It's never going to be that's never a proposition for editing and providing show notes, like, because that doesn't have a direct, like, that's it's
a cost center, really.
Yeah.
It doesn't directly cause growth.
It's a cost savings measure, which has a different value proposition, because she is saving you your time, and your time is more likely more valuable because of you being the one running the business. So if you wanted to look at value-based pricing for a cost savings effort, well, how much time is she saving you each week? 10, 20 hours, all right. 10, 20 hours of your time at your hourly rates. What's that come out to, and what percentage of that can you live with paying her? That's the value-based proposition for cost savings.
Well, but the problem with that is it puts it squarely in the commodity market.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
On that, there's nothing unique that makes it
right.
So that's where it's and it's, again, like I said, I mean, sometimes I'm coming off a little bit harsh, but it's nothing personal. It's nothing. It's just that you've now encountered the situation, and it's not, and you've got to deal with it as a business owner and realize that you've got costs, and they're fixed costs, and if you can reduce fixed costs without, or like Josh said, that there are those what word did you use, like cost centers? And you got to do it as a business owner. So
Chuck, I would totally be feeling the same way. So
well,
all that said,
it's the right decision for all the right reasons, but there's still people involved, and they're people that I care about. Mandy in particular. So it's I'm not callously saying, well, I'm never going to talk to her again because no, it's not that. It's just where I'm at and what I want to get done, I can go that much further because I have changed the equation in my business. And at the same time, I want to remain friends with her, and I think she's a great person. I think any company that does hire her is lucky to have her. It's just that what I need and what I can get, what I can wind up paying for what I need, at least I think, you know, it moves her out of the picture, unfortunately.
Right. Well, and it's also, there's the other benefit to you is it's kind of like the whole microservices thing versus the monorail, right? Like Mandy's kind of a monorail right now. She's like doing everything for you. And if you've got, dedicated businesses that are specialized, that handle little facets of your business, you're a lot more flexible.
Mm-hmm. And with your business in particular too, this is one of those things where this is your wheelhouse. This is like, so you really need to have the direct control over the process and the contractors that are doing this. This isn't something that, at this point, I mean, when you first started, I think you could outsource this and say, okay, but at this point, it doesn't make sense because you're huge. I mean, now you're a huge podcast network, and having the cost savings are multiplied. It's not like you have one or two podcasts. It's multiplied across them. The efficiency, the process, all of those things are multiplied by a factor of, what is it? How many podcasts
5.
you have? Yeah.
Right. That's why it's a $2,000 or $2,500 discussion and not a few $100 discussion.
Yeah. So I got to jump off here. I got to go hit the airport, but I'll probably be back on. I should be. The airport's not very far, so I'll see you guys in a bit.
All right.
Cool.
See you.
Yeah. But podcast movement's been terrific. It's been awesome.
Where is it at?
Chicago. Yeah.
Sweet.
Last year it was in Fort Worth, and the year before that it was in Dallas. So.
Nice.
Who hosts that? Is it
So Jared
John...
Beasley and Dan Franks are the two guys that put it together.
Okay.
And so I hung out with, and talked to John Lee Dumas and Kate Erickson and Pat Flynn and Cliff Ravenscraft. I met Dan Miller and talked to him for like 10, 15 minutes. I've met all kinds of people. It has been just awesome. And I went to a workshop on Wednesday where they were talking about live video stuff like Periscope, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and I've decided that that's really the direction I need to head in order to bring people into the communities that I want to create for new programmers and for people trying to find developers, hiring managers, and for some of the other communities that I want to create for the conferences. So I'm going to be going and doing a whole bunch of work on social media to try and create those communities, and then I'm going to be periscoping and YouTube living and stuff basically as much as I can to get the word out there, and then just sharing it on social media to get people in.
Sweet.
But I've been trying to figure out, because the podcast growth, it's been good, but I feel like the communities are growing at a rate where I could bring more people in than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is where a lot of the newer, younger people are at, where they're on, they're watching videos, they're on Snapchat, and so if I can get out there and just talk about code, talk about life, talk about podcasting, talk about whatever it is that I'm doing, so people get that connection with me and I get that connection with them, and then I can just say, hey, well, we've got a community about this, or I've got an email course about this, or I'm doing a webinar about this, then I can get people into that funnel. And I think that'll pay off.
How does YouTube Live work? Does that go out to your subscribers then? Or
it goes into your channel.
Okay.
People can come watch it live. YouTube Live and Google Hangouts are basically the same thing.
Yeah, if YouTube Live, the homepage of your channel will be the live video, and you'll still have your other playlists and stuff listed, but the usual intro video and other things that you have will be gone, and it'll be your live stream right there on the channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think for right now I'm going to focus on Periscope and Snapchat, and then I will post the videos to YouTube and Facebook. But I'm planning on trying out those other channels and seeing if I can, if I get more engagement or different kinds of engagement with those. The other thing that I'm thinking about doing is, so I just bought an iPad Pro, which
Nice.
I totally love. And I have an iPad
I've been thinking
Mini.
about upgrading my 4th gen to the smaller size iPad Pro.
That's what I got, and it's nice. I can actually sit it on my lap in a conference talk and take notes.
Nice.
And I got the Apple Pencil, and I need to just go in and see if there's a way for me to handwrite my notes and then have it translated into actual text. In other words, is the computer smart enough to read my handwriting?
It should be.
I think you can do it. I just haven't looked into how to do it, and I to somebody to basically transcribe it. So
right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I've thought about just doing some setup so that I have Periscope on this one, I've got YouTube Live on the other one, and Facebook Live on the other one, and then I just hurry and hit start on all of them, and then stand back and go, "Hi, everybody," and just see if that works, or if it's a total disaster. You know, at the end where I'm going, "Okay, turn off this one, then turn off that one, then."
Nice.
All right. Next product for Chuck to build will be the equivalent of that all-in-one multiple broadcast from The Office, except it'll be, instead of texting you, paging you, and emailing you and calling you, it'll be broadcast to YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Periscope, Snapchat, Vine, and hit record once and broadcast everywhere.
As soon as that gets figured out, that will be the day that people abandon all of those social media.
The live video stuff.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think basically it's like people migrate away from basically as soon as marketers figure out how to take advantage of the tools, people start to migrate away from them.
Well, my thing is what I want to do is I want to have a conversation with people.
Yeah.
But I don't want to waste the conversation by just talking about something and then getting off. If I'm talking to people, I want them to do something. I want them to go out and have some kind of difference made in their life. So, it's, okay, well, go check out the webinar because I feel like it'll help you out, or go check out the email course because I feel like it'll help you out. And ultimately, I feel like then moving a lot of this into digital products. I'm doing the digital products, yes, to make money, but it's also, I feel, a more effective way to help people and to give them an incentive to get their money's worth out of the product. And so it's like, look, here's a curated set of stuff. It has real value. I appreciate you giving me some money, but, go make your life better with it.
Yeah, and people are much more likely to take action on it if they've got skin in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you give away everything that you make, I mean, you could literally give away the most valuable piece of advice that anybody's ever heard, and people won't take it seriously because they put nothing into receiving it. There's no skin in the game, like Josh said. People are far more likely to invest strongly in using the information if you charge, what it's worth and the value that it can create for them.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I picked up here that I'm going to do is I'm going to pay somebody to go back through all of the podcast episodes. I'm probably going to start with JavaScript Jabber or Ruby Rogues. I may do it with iPhreaks because I feel like iPhreaks has the most room to grow. But anyway, I'm going to pay somebody to go back through and tag all of the episodes in WordPress. And then I'm also going to, because I want them to listen to it and then tag it, but I also want them to extract at least 2 or 3 quotes from each episode and put them into Edgar. And that way I can rotate through them. And so it's, this particular panelist said this thing, smart, funny, whatever, on this episode of iPhreaks. Go check it out. And then I'm going to see if I can drive some traffic back to those episodes.
Yeah, that's good.
And, so I'm going to be a little bit more prolific on social media. I'm going to try and tweet more, too. Just share where I'm at and what I'm doing. And the same thing on Facebook. And, I'm hoping that I can raise a little bit of awareness there. And then I can get people going back to the show. But, yeah, I've got a ton of ideas, and I've met so many great people, and I'm just so excited to go back and do it all. And I know that I can't do it all, but I'm going to do it all anyway.
Do it all until you figure out how to do it, and then let somebody else do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I also want to create some communities on Facebook, some groups that aren't groups around a brand, but are groups around a technology or something like that, and see how that works out. I just went to a session on that, and it was so good. And I think rather than offering the JavaScript Jabber group, where we all have in common that we like the show, it's a group about, helping people understand JavaScript or helping people, write better Rails or whatever. And I think those groups are the groups that are really going to, get their nose up and take off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our the Simple Programmer group has been going pretty well. We've got about 180-ish people in it, and that's enough so that it's got some momentum, and we're getting multiple posts a day, and
nice.
Lots of good discussion. Yeah, so there's definitely, I don't know what the tipping point is, but yeah, I think probably somewhere in like the 100+ range. If you can get that, then it'll self-sustain.
Yeah, I want to do one for new programmers because I'm writing Get a Coder Job, and I'm going to do the video course and things.
Yep.
And so then when I go out and I participate in the community, like the Code Newbie Twitter chat, things like that, I can actually say, look, I've got a community for new programmers where I just answer questions and where other people answer questions. And I think then if I can get enough of the right people in there, both people who want to help and people who need help, then I think that can grow into a community that really engages. And then when I do the book launch, I can be like, hey, get on the book launch list, or hey, go to the webinar, or hey, do this. And I can grow it to the point where people really are in there to help each other and get that help and do the right things, but also it kind of builds my brand and my credibility with them to the point where they engage with me and I'm giving them what they need, and I can profit from it as well.
Yep. Yeah, Facebook groups are kind of like, they're up there in terms of, at least for right now, they're up there with email in terms of how much interaction you get with people. And I know people that are able to do significant product launches based mostly off of Facebook group versus email.
Right. Yeah, and then the other one that I heard about, and this will be interesting, and I know Derek's going to have an allergic reaction to this. But they were talking about webinars and webinar sales funnels. And one of the things they do is they do live webinars, 4 or 5 times. And then what they do is they record it and they put it on what's called a streaming webinar.
Right.
And so what it is it's, hey, go sign up for the webinar. So the people go and they log into the webinar, but the webinar is pre-recorded. And, it has a chat room and everything so the people in there can chat. And it just emails you the chat logs, and it has a Q&A box that people can put stuff in. And then basically for the Q&A section, you ask the commonly asked questions, and then all the questions that people put into the chat box get emailed to you. And then at the end you say, we're out of time for Q&A. If you didn't get your question answered, then it will go into our, we'll get back to you with an answer. And so the trade-off is A, it's not live, so you don't have to spend the time putting on the webinar, and you don't have to you don't have to do all the prep work and all that stuff. The flip side is that you don't get that engagement every time. But the other thing is that you can put on these streaming webinars when at times when you're not awake. So like if it's a better time for people in Australia at 2 a.m. where you live, then you can offer that to them.
Right.
And and then you just have to carefully not mention that it's not live, that it's live. You don't tell them it's live.
Right. I forget what tool. My copywriting mentor was actually using this for his product, and he was getting like a 60% show up rate on the webinars because basically he was running Facebook ads, and they were saying, today, class starts in 15 minutes, and they go and sign up for it, and then there'd be like a countdown timer, and it would basically wait for 15 minutes, and then it would just roll right into the webinar. And because the problem is when you do them, the typical way is you run ads for a week and you get 500 people signed up, and then webinar day comes and 50 of them show up.
Right.
And so you get 10 to 20% show up rate. Well, with these evergreen webinars, you get a much higher, because it's like now, right? I mean, like it's like immediate.
Yeah.
So you get like a 60%, 50, 60, 70% of people sit there and go through it.
Yeah. And I guess the streaming webinars tend to convert pretty well.
Yeah.
Not as well as live, but it's a value trade-off on your time. But yeah.
Well, actually, I think, I don't know that that's a hard and fast rule either, because a lot of times what people do is they'll do 5 of them, and the one that converts the best, they'll can that one and use that one.
Yeah.
So, like there are things like I was consulting with a client that had recorded this. It was a teleconference, like a teleseminar. They recorded this thing like 15 years ago, and they could not beat this freaking recording. They reran it they redid it multiple times, and they just could not, for whatever it was, like the tone of his voice or whatever in that one call, like it consistently outperformed every attempt they made to re-record it. So. So you can actually, you can get your best recording, your best performance on tape.
Yeah, John Lee Dumas apparently did it a bunch for his webinar on Fire and for Podcasters Paradise, and so it was all pre-recorded. You go to his webinar, and he wasn't actually sitting behind his computer talking to you, and I guess it worked out pretty well, and people didn't feel slighted that it was a recording.
Yeah. I've heard him say that he was getting like 20% conversions on his webinars.
Yeah, I think his live webinars were getting a little bit higher than that from what I heard at the talk they gave yesterday. But
nice.
Yeah.
We did that same kind of thing when I worked at Telerik. All of our product launches were webinars, but they were all pre-recorded video. We would have an hour of content, and there would be 6 of us delivering, 5 or 10 minutes at a time, and each one of us would pre-record. We would sit down, sprout about what we were going to do, hit record, do the whole thing live, quote, quote, live, hit stop, and then send our video over to whoever compiled the whole thing, and they would run the whole compiled thing as if it were a live video.
Yeah.
So there would be planned transitions, what our boss would say to transition to who, and what we would say to transition back to him. So it all made sense, and it felt like it was live. But when we actually played the launch, the webinar for the launch, it would be the pre-recorded video, and then at the very end of it, the Q&A would be live. We would have our manager would turn his mic on and answer questions live.
Nice.
But then the rest of us were doing Q&A from the Q&A box, the text-based Q&A during the webinar.
Nice.
So that worked out pretty well for that company and for us doing that. It would still put a bit of a damper on your ability to do it at 2 a.m. time, but it was a pretty good hybrid between the two.
Yeah, makes sense. So I have one more thing I want to share. When I was packing up to come, I realized that I was out of business cards, and I was talking to some guys that I know here, and one of them suggested that I buy a deck of playing cards.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
And so I bought a deck of playing cards, and then he's like, yeah, so when you hand out a playing card, you just write your information on it.
Right.
And so I was trying with a regular ballpoint pen, didn't work very well, so I just got a Sharpie pen.
Nice.
Works great.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've been handing out playing cards all week.
It'd be even better in Vegas.
I know, right? But yeah. So
Speaking
anyway,
of cards, so I got my actual thank you cards in that I ordered from Vistaprint, and they turned out pretty darn phenomenal.
They look good.
nice. I need to order some like that.
They are. They're pretty slick. They're easy to write on. They're nice and thick, real thick paper stock that I ordered these things on. I got envelopes with them to go with them, and then I have stickers that I got from Sticker Mule a couple years ago same logo and everything.
Oh, nice.
I've sent out 2 or 3 of these actual cards already. One of them to Singapore, and another one to Atlanta. So that'll be fun. Hopefully, I'll get some positive responses with those. I need to figure out a better way to collect a mailing address for people, because right now I'm still having to email them and say, hey, I'd like to send you some swag. What's your mailing address?
Yeah, I was going to ask
6
that.
out of 8 people that I've asked have responded saying, yeah, it'd be great. Hopefully, it'll, if I can put together a little form on the website that makes it easier for people, then that'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to step away for a second. I'll be right back.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have after people sign up, do you have a thank you page? Could you throw it on there?
I do. Yeah, I probably could. My plan is to put a video, a talking head video on there, but that'd be a pretty good place for the form. And if I get the form in there now, then I can mention that in the talking head video. Sign up, send me your address below, and I'll send you stickers. Woo! All that good stuff.
Cool. Yeah, hopefully you won't get a return to sender.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Dude, you're creeping me out.
Yes.
This dude sent stuff to my house.
He sent me a basket of pears. What the crap?
Nice.
Yes.
So how are things with you and Mark? I'm curious what your agenda is to get the JavaScript this stuff launched.
The core of it is I've got 5 out of 6 of the emails done. The last email that you commented, where's the mention of the product, that's like the last thing I need to get into it. So that email I need to work on this afternoon. He is currently putting together the new campaign in Drip. I created the campaign, I created a broadcast, and I created a automation workflow. So what we're doing is he's putting all of the emails into the campaign, and he is taking what you and I had previously written as the welcome email, and we're taking that and doing something slightly different with it. We're turning it A, into a blog post, but also B, into the initial launch email, broadcast email of the revamped email course. So it's going to go out to everybody on my mailing list that has never been through or never subscribed to the Mastering JavaScript This email course.
Okay, that's cool.
Which is about 3,700 people, and it's going to include a one-click sign-up link at the bottom of it, which is why I have the automation workflow in Drip, so that we can get them from that one-click sign-up into the email course and into the sales pitch and everything. We're gonna keep the sales pitch fairly simple right now. We're not going to change it a whole lot from the sales pitch that I currently have. It's going to be
meaning
touched up.
the landing page.
The
sales page.
The 3 emails that I have after you go through the course.
Okay. Right.
So those are going to be mostly the same. They're going to be cleaned up a bit, talk a little more about the value that they provide. But we're going to change when we send those, I think. We were talking about sending those in parallel when you hit email number 2 rule number 2 in the JS This course, and we're gonna try that as an experiment, I think, with the first relaunch, because these are already people that are warm or hot on my mailing list, because they're already subscribed, they already know who I am, they probably know what Watch Me Code is. So we're gonna try and hit them fairly early.
So they'll be getting 2 emails then.
Yeah, for a couple of days they'll be getting 2 emails.
That's
they'll
fine.
get the regular email, and then a little bit later they'll be getting a second email in the same day.
Okay.
And that's going to be an experiment. We talked about this quite a bit a couple days ago, and when we get to the point where we're going to launch for general traffic off of my blog, the the day zero, the welcome email that I had written, that I'm turning into a blog post. That'll be posted as a blog post, and that'll be what we use to drive people into the JavaScript This email course. And at that point, we're going to have that sales pitch, sales email sequence at the end of the series, because it's going to be cold traffic, people that are probably not ready to buy yet, need to have the whole sequence.
Well, you're going to find, I think what you're going to find is that half of your, like a third of your sales will come immediately, and then a third will come after, during the discount offer, and then another third will come later.
Right. And we're planning for all of that. So the initial launch, the get it done this week, is for my existing mailing list. So we know that they are going to be at least fairly warm, and we're going to work on a landing page video for when they sign up for the email course. It'll take them to the thank you page, and the thank you page will have a talking head video of me talking about the course, sharing a brief introduction story kind of thing, and then providing the full or a mini sales pitch down below that video. Here's the full product suite that has all the fundamentals in it. You can go buy that right now. So we'll capture those people that really do want to buy it right now.
So on that, the way that we're doing it is like literally we just have a call to action button versus having.
Okay.
I would try that first, and then if you wanted to have, because I think people will see all the other stuff, and they'll be like, oh, this is going to be a sales pitch, and they'll.
Well, all the other stuff was going to be like a few bullet points, like a few sentences.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I would still try I would still try just keep it simple. Yeah, I mean that's usually with like a VSL and stuff. That's what I was modeling that after. Which usually what you do is you have like, you have like this 45-minute long video, and there's not even a button underneath it until like 25 minutes into the thing. So it's like just really simple, and there's just one thing to do, which is click the button or not.
Right.
And it's easier, honestly. It's less work.
Yeah. True.
So I would start there, but.
Okay, I'll try that then.
Have you looked at anything like Wistia, because you can actually put the call to action? It can like raise up out of the screen and do all these other things.
I've looked at Wistia, and they have a whole lot of whiz-bang features that I don't particularly care about.
Yeah.
They do. That's true.
Thrive has a way to put a timer, I think.
Right.
But I honestly, I think a lot of people, I haven't looked at this, but I bet you a lot of people don't even watch the video, and they just click the button and they go to the sales page.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna put the so we'll put that button on there like you're suggesting, and then there will be the actual landing page for the bundle, which I've got an existing landing page for that. It needs to be updated badly, and so we're gonna do a little bit of tweaking to that. But all that being said, the gist of it is publish the new email course, set up the sales email sequence to happen on Rule 2, which is like the third email that you're going to get. Create the landing page video. Sorry, not landing. Create the thank you page video for when you sign up for the email course. Update the landing page, the sales page for the fundamentals bundle, and send out the broadcast to my existing mailing list to get them to get my existing mailing list to click that one link to sign them up.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good.
Our goal is to get it done this coming week. Like Mark is literally right now working on putting things in Drip. We've had a few chats over Google Doc comments in the last few minutes while Chuck was talking. So he's working on that right now. I've got a call with him later this afternoon. We're gonna talk about the outline of the videos, and then I'm gonna get my phone out and record those videos real quick once I have the outline.
Nice.
So yeah, I am itching to get this thing done and launched, at least the first version of this, so that we can so that I can have some kind of actual success, some kind of small win. I mean, if I can get this dumb thing to make one sale per week, that's going to be 10 times more than I'm selling right now.
Yeah. What are you? What's the pricing on it again? Is it $50?
64.
64. Okay. And then you've got it marked down for the discount, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to change the discount. Right now it's like 50% off, but I'm probably going to change that.
Yeah. Yeah, 20% is probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be able to go up to like $79 with the pricing too. It would be something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
If I did like a $49, that's one of those price points at $49.
If you took,
that would be a 24.5% discount.
Right. If you went from 79, you mean, or from
64?
64. Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
You could probably call it 25.
Yeah, probably. It'll round up. But yeah, so that's where I am with Mark. I'm glad that he was on board with jumping ship from RabbitMQ.
Yeah.
Getting this done is going to be good. It also gives us a little more practice before the RabbitMQ one is really done and out the door, so that we can have a little more experience, a little more under our belt for doing this kind of work.
Yep.
But once we get done with the core of this launch, we're going to talk about next steps for him and I in terms of partnership, joint venture kind of style. My thought right now is that he'll have like a small monthly retainer, and then we'll look at a percentage commission on whatever product we're working on. I might put a small percentage commission into the JavaScript fundamentals bundle right away, and then have a percentage commission start with the relaunch of the RabbitMQ one as well. And that would give us both some skin in the game. I'm paying him a monthly fee so that he can continue working, and then he's got some skin in the game for really producing top-notch results that convert well and make sales, so that he can earn more than the monthly retainer.
Yes, and that works. I can say firsthand.
As you can attest, yes.
Yeah.
So how do you find somebody like Mark? I mean, I keep thinking that, it would be really nice to have somebody who could help me with the copywriting and marketing and all of this stuff that really gets it. Because
in my case, you wait for fate to drop him in your lap.
Helpful. Fate!
Yes,
come on,
exactly. Fate. Come on, fate. Because literally, I showed up at my Wednesday coffee shop co-working that I always go to, and lo and behold, my friend Corey brought him to me and plopped him in my lap. And there we go.
That must have been
yeah, it was. Like, who are you and why are you sitting in my lap? But no, it's what I would suggest, and what I'm probably going to do for some other things that I want done. I'm probably going to use Upwork. I'm gonna put out a job. I'm going to say, I've got this video. I need show notes, and I need copywriting for the blog post. You got to understand software development. You got to understand this and that and the other. Hire 6 or 8 people to do that. It's probably not that many, but hire 3 or 4 people to do the same video, to do show notes and copywriting for the same video, and pick one. Have a backup on hand in case that guy doesn't work out, but pick one. That's what I did with my YouTube videos, and my YouTube editor, Suresh, he's done freaking amazing. The guy, he's getting faster, he's doing better every time. We really like working together. He's in India, so the time zone difference is a little awkward. We basically only get to talk early in the morning or late at night, my time, which is the opposite for him because he's 10.5 hours time difference. But then my second choice from all those. You're sideways, John.
Hey, look,
Yeah,
John's
there we
Jim
go.
joined us.
There we go.
No, then my second choice out of that little experiment with Upwork, I hired him for a different project. He created a new motion graphics intro for my screencast for me, which I'm going to be using on a screencast that I just recorded this morning that's going to go up on YouTube. And so he produced that and got that done this week, and that turned out really well. So I'm pretty happy about all of that. It all seemed to have worked out pretty darn well for me. But in terms of you hiring a copywriter, marketer kind of person, I mean...
Yeah, I listed something on
Yeah.
Upwork, and I actually got a phone call from one of them, and he wanted like $3,000 to set up my Facebook page, help me get like 3 or 4 months of content together for it, and then show me how to continue to maintain it from there.
No.
And
I mean,
I'm like,
You need somebody, for that kind of money, you need somebody to do all of that work.
yeah.
Yeah, it's copy is going to be the toughest thing. I mean, that's just tends to be. It's like if you're hiring someone overseas, they're not going to have the finesse.
Yeah.
With the English language to be able to do it very well. It's just so you're pretty much stuck. And then there's a lot of people in the U.S. that are not that good, and you can't really tell. It's really hard to tell. And they all charge a lot of money, so.
Well, the other thing is I want to maintain
hiring...
my voice, and so I don't want them to write everything for me.
Right.
I want like sales pages and email courses and those things. I really just want them to help make sure that I'm being clear and communicating well, and less for them to actually just write it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what were you saying, Derek?
I was just going to say for things like show notes and writing up a blog post for an episode, I mean, that kind of stuff you can outsource and just review it real quick. But when it comes to really true copywriting for sales and marketing and email courses and stuff like that, you need to have somebody that is going to be invested in your business and understands your business. You're gonna need to find a media specialist copywriter because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And that person is going to have to be trained a little bit in software developer terminology, which is fine. I mean, Suresh doesn't have any software development experience, so I've corrected him once or twice on, it's not C# letters, SHARP, it's C#.
C#, yep.
Yeah, so I mean, it's no big deal though. It's like, okay, I'll fix that, and it's great. Now he knows. I don't have to ever remind him again. It's just little things like that that you're going to have to work with somebody, go back and forth, get feedback, all that stuff. Like Mark is doing a crap ton of work for me. He's, I have like most of the research and notes and emails for the JavaScript this course done, but he's taking everything that I've already written and basically putting together the entire production side of it. I've done the content creation. He is doing the production work for me.
Right.
To put it into Drip, to get the automation, to get the tracking, to get the sales page, to do a lot of that work, and letting me really just focus on the content side of it, so that it's me and my voice and all that.
Yeah.
Hire for the skill you can't train.
Yeah. That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it with me. This week has been basically just all marketing efforts, trying to get this stuff done and out the door, and I'm looking at what I need to do to have done next week and realizing I need to have I've got my second webinar for functional JavaScript next week, so that's going to take up some time. But I also need to have a screencast for my real Watch Me Code videos done for next week, and I sat down last night and thought about that and realized it's only been a few weeks since I've recorded a screencast for Watch Me Code, but I've been so focused on my marketing efforts that I feel like it's been months and I have no clue what I'm doing. And I need to get out of this project mode, this marketing project mode, and back into the flow of content, because I haven't written a real blog post in, I can't remember when. All I've done is post videos on my blog for the last month or two, and I need to get some real blog posts in there again to get to continue that traffic. And I'm fine with posting videos on the blog, of course. It brings in traffic, but it's not always a great format for the things I want to say.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too, and I think I'm going to be doing more of a mix, sort of like what you're doing. And what I may also do is take some of the videos or record an audio version of what I want to say in the blog post, and then just have somebody transcribe it and then work it from there.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten pretty comfortable just saying what I think and dictating my thoughts. Right. And when I sit in front of the blank canvas, Josh has written about this a couple times on his email list. I don't know what to do, and so yeah, I'm much more comfortable saying it than writing it. And then I can start from there.
For transcriptions, I'd just go to rev.com. It's cheap and easy. They do a really good job.
What is it, rev.com?
Yeah, rev.com. I use that for all my transcriptions. It's $1 a minute, and then there's a couple of different add-ons you can do. But it'll take you 2 minutes to upload the video or the audio and put in, select the options that you want, and usually within an hour I've got my result back. Yeah. There was one time a couple of weeks ago where I uploaded 7 videos all at once, so it took a few days to get all of them back to me, but I expected that, since, 7 videos at like 45 minutes each. It was a lot.
Yep. Yeah, Rev's pretty killer. I use them too.
Yeah, I get a better deal transcribing my podcast episodes, but if it's a 10-minute thing, then yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I've thought about doing that as well, getting some of my YouTube videos transcribed and turning them into code examples or other written forms on the blog.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I'm going to keep doing that I think I've sort of found the solution to is I'm just spending 2 Pomodori, basically an hour every single day writing, and I'm writing my book, my new book, of course, but they're also going out as blog posts.
Right.
And I thought, okay, well, that's not going to make much of an impact, but in reality, I'm probably producing like 3 blog posts worth of content a week, maybe 4. So, because I'm producing, in that hour time frame, 1,000 to 1,500 words, and I'm doing that 7 days a week. So I think just possibly, I don't know, for me, I always had a problem where, on Sunday night, I'd be scrambling to write a blog post to go out on Monday. But I'm liking this because this is keeping me writing every day, and then I'm producing way more content than I need, as far as blog posts. My goal was just to get 1 out a week, but I can easily get 2, 3 out a week, and it's not too stressful because just taking that hour every day. So I don't know, maybe developing some kind of cadence like that would be useful, and it keeps you in the habit of writing.
Yeah, that's ultimately what I want to get to. I need to get past my current project mentality for the marketing stuff, though. Yeah. Once I get into more of just a regular flow of, I record a video on this day, I record a Watch Me Code screencast on that day, I record, I do whatever on these days, then I'll get back into, okay, let's sit down, let's an hour each morning, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, probably for me, is going to be writing. And I have books that I need to write, things that I've had on my to-write list for a long time, and they're going to produce some pretty killer blog posts in the process of writing these little ebooks that I want to do.
Yeah, it really, it kind of, I think it's one of those things where you go through seasons, right now, I'm basically, I have to really stay focused on creating my course. So, I'm not doing so much marketing. I'm actually not deliberately not going out and looking for people to do joint venture partnerships with and stuff, because I could be, there's all the stuff that I know I could be doing right now to build my email list, but I just can't. I have to focus on getting a stupid product done. So, once I have that, it's like, then I'm done with it. Then I can go back into just drive traffic mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of in the similar position. I actually have two people that want work proposals from me. And, it's like, well, I'm kind of focused on these other things right now.
Yep.
And it's hard to say no because it's money. It's like real money.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had some fun. Speaking of real money, this week has been fun for me. So I decided I really want to get serious, get this stupid course all put together, and I've been stripping my gears about it all week, and I decided, I think on like Monday or Tuesday, I was like, you know what, I am going to just cancel my coaching for now. Like, I had 2 coaching students that were they'd come in at like my lowest price level, and they were real happy with what we were doing and everything. But I was just like, this is just taking. It's not like a huge amount of time, but it's just another thing on my plate, and it's like a big distraction. So I emailed both of them. One of them's Kestrel, who's a listener here. I said, look,
Kestrel.
I'm putting this whole thing on ice for a while. I'm not going to do any more coaching, and so. So that was like $500, not a huge amount. That was like income that I lost, and then so that was cool. And then I was like, because I already have I have a small shortfall from what I've been bringing in, so I have savings that I've been kind of using, and then I got like a day or two later, I got an email from John Fancher, who I've been working with Perry Marshall doing the emails, and he's like, well, we are reshuffling our email marketing stuff, and we're not going to be doing these nurturing emails anymore, so I will not be needing your help. It's like, awesome. So
yes.
So that was another. So now I'm down to just in the last week, I've lost about $1,300 in income. So now I have the tiger. The tiger is running behind me, as John said in his blog post. I have got to get this product done. So yeah, because it's like I'm starting to chew through my savings a little bit too fast now. So that has been seriously stressing me out all week. It's going to be fine. I'm not really worried. But and actually, the part of the reason why we're chewing through our savings is because I have a big slice of money coming out automatically to go into investments, and another slice coming out that we're setting aside for giving. So actually the way we do our giving right now, just because my income is not where it needs to be yet, is we're giving some to church, and then we're also taking the rest and we're setting it aside in a savings account, and then at the end of the year, like in December, we give away like a big chunk of money, which is really fun. I did that last year with the kids, and we were like going to all these different websites and like giving, like, actually my bank account got locked because we tried to give away too much money in a short period of time. But yeah, so we have that as a reserve if we really needed to tap into it. But yeah, I got to get this course done. So I'm still planning on launching it in September, like basically end of August. But yeah, so I've been stripping my gears about the format of it, and I think I finally was like, screw it, I am going to just do this the easiest way possible. So my original plan was I wanted to make it like a 4 to 6 week course that was done by email. So you'd sign up, and every day I'd give you like very specific instructions about what to do that day, and I'd teach you what you needed to know. But I realized that I was like not able to figure out how to sequence the information in such a way that I could parcel it out day to day and have you know enough to actually do anything useful. If that makes sense. Like typically the way these classes work is, I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, the way that these usually work is you've got like a webinar or something, you get like a big chunk of information and then you go act on it. And what I was trying to do was like break it up even more. To where you'd only get kind of like what you, because I really like Copy Hour. Copy Hour is fantastic, but Copy Hour is literally each day's assignment is completely atomic. You're just hand copying the ad. So there's no like real connection from day to day. And this, I'm like trying to walk people through this big long process. So figuring out how to structure that over like 4 to 6 weeks was just killing me. So I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to teach it as like 7 modules. They're all going to be PDFs. It's going to be all written for now. And then I know what the bonuses are going to be. So I'm just going to like strip it down as much as possible. And even that's still a lot of work. But this week I was working on modules 1 and 2, and I have a ton of them written or drafted, and then I've got kind of like I'm starting to outline the rest of it. So I feel like I'm finally starting to get some traction on it, but it's kind of brutal. I keep debating like whether I want to try to do this as like video, because John did this real estate course a couple weeks ago, where he literally just sat down in one day, like did the whole thing, and it's like a 3-hour long course. And so I was kind of thinking about trying to do that format, but I honestly think for me at this point that would probably be harder than writing it. And I also like I'm thinking that writing's probably best because it forces me to organize it. And since I'm planning to like revise this thing multiple times, and it's not going to be like I do it once and it's over. This is going to be like my flagship thing that I work on for the next several years. And so I'm thinking that writing it for now makes the most sense, and then later I could do an audio or video version when it's more baked, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting this done.
Yes.
It is painful. This is the part of the process that I really hate, honestly. I hate product creation.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody hates product creation. They love
they love making money, right?
Yeah, the emails that say someone just bought.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just really need to do this. I really, really, really need to do this. I had a guy email me this week who's been on my list, and he saw I did that semi-disastrous webinar, which I've gotten some good feedback on. So there were when I sent out the email, I played up the problems that I had actually, so I had some fun with it. So people were emailing me and saying, "Oh, this was actually really good," so that was nice. But so he saw that webinar, this guy, and he emailed me. He's like, "Dude, like, I want to buy some consulting time with you, and then I also want to pay you to come do a webinar for my audience." I'm like, okay, that'll help with that. That'll help with that shortfall. But yeah, so I really need to get this out there. Like people want this, and it'll be really exciting to finally have, a several $100 product that I can go out there and just sell. It will be a money machine that I can just crank anytime I need or want money. So need to get it done. We lost John. There's John. John's back.
I think he's back in his cave.
The master of the
mobile.
Wait.
You're back. Wait, how? I thought you were going to the airport to go somewhere.
No, I was dropping
off his wife and daughter.
Okay. All right, okay.
Apparently there's some kind of crazy line for checking bags. Like, we're TSA pre-check now, so it should be faster.
That is so the way to go.
Yeah.
If you haven't done that, do it. I mean, I flew out here. There were it was the longest line I'd ever seen at Salt Lake Airport, and it was like 5 people at TSA pre-check. It was the longest line I'd ever seen at TSA pre-check. And the other line wasn't that long either this time, but sometimes it's like clear out to the outside door.
Yeah, and good luck going home, Chuck, because O'Hare is one of the worst airports right now. The lines are sometimes taking 4 or 5 hours.
Well, I have TSA pre-check, so I'm hoping to skip all that.
It's such bullcrap that the news is like, like there's lots of summer travelers, so TSA expect long waits. Bullshit. It's terrorist activity. It's like this is not like the only thing that makes sense is that there's extreme danger right now. Like that's obviously the problem. Like
they have a tip in the city you're in that they're looking for someone.
Right. There's obviously stuff planned. There's obviously stuff going on. Like it's just too obvious. Like there's never lines like this. This is, and things have gotten more efficient with TSA. So yeah, there's no way. There's something going on. So, but definitely get the global entry. If you actually, it's too late to get it now because now it's like in order to get your appointment because everyone's getting it, but it's like $100 for 5 years and it gets you TSA pre-check. And through customs.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like I just got mine. I just slipped in and got my appointment. Like in San Diego, it's nice because there's like 4 or 5 offices down here because we're right next to the Mexican border, and that's where you have to go, like border patrol areas. So so we just got all of our global entry and pre-check stuff. Okay. So, but
I don't go international that often, so.
But the thing is, like, it's $75 for TSA pre-check and $100 for global entry.
What if you already have TSA pre-check?
I don't know.
I don't think the government's not known for giving you discounts like that.
Can I get a discount on my taxes while you're at it?
Yeah. But yeah, they're going to San Francisco up to my my wife's parents' house. And then I'm heading to Vegas on Sunday because I'm going to speak at that during the keynote for that Blackboard conference. And then I'll be meeting them up next week, and then we'll be flying to China. So it will be fun. And I'm bringing 1 bag to China, 1 carry-on bag.
And did you get your Chromebook?
I did. I got the Chromebook. And I have VPN service already that I purchased and have installed on the Chromebook and on the phones. I got a little MiFi router thing, but I was trying to put DDWRT or open WRT on there, but I think it's a Hutu one. Like it doesn't look like it's gonna work out. So because I was hoping to put the VPN software directly on there and then. That would be cool, but I just put it on the individual devices, and I think that should be fine. So I should be able to get through the Great Firewall of China.
How long are you in China?
3 weeks. So I have 2 pairs of shorts, 2 shirts, 3 pairs of underwear, and 2 socks, and that's it.
So you should only need to do laundry once while you're there.
Huh? Yes, exactly. But it's all travel stuff, right? It's merino wool, so like, most of the stuff you can wear multiple times, and then like you can just wash it in the sink, or when you take a shower, you can just wash it and then hang it and it's dry. Like,
just wear your clothes in the shower, John.
Yeah, that's it. Get it all done. So
right.
Yeah. So my wife's parents, they're actually going to go with us to China. And they're freaking out because they called my wife and there like, "Hey, what are you bringing to China?" And she's like, "1 bag." Like, oh no, but what are you checking? Nothing. Carry on, 1 bag. Like, no, but what are you bringing to China? Like, for 3 weeks we're going to China. What are you bringing? 1 carry-on bag.
My child, my husband, and 1 carry-on bag.
Yeah. Like, what do you really need? You need some clothes, right? And a few toiletries, and that's it. Like,
that's right. And then you buy a suitcase while you're there for the souvenirs that you're bringing back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it'll be fun. It'll be real interesting.
Yeah, I'll be holding down the fort while John's gone. So I'm expecting
burn it to the ground.
The servers to catch on fire. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not doing any. So every time Thrive updates Thrive themes, it like takes their site down for like the whole day, and John's like spends 18 hours trying to figure out what's wrong with it. So I think I'm not going to apply any updates in WordPress while John's gone.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather not have to mess with it.
Yeah, his videos now are going to be, "Hi, I'm John from IT."
Exactly. So, yeah, on the simple, we're just about to click over 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're at 29,926.
Nice.
So that'll be a nice milestone, and almost 2 million views.
I'm sitting at 909 subscribers with 97,000 views. So I'm about to hit a couple of milestones too. Woohoo!
I have 5 subscribers.
Awesome.
So
All right.
I started at like 500 when I started doing these videos.
Nice.
2 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever it was.
It's good growth.
And yeah, so almost doubled my YouTube subscriber count, and my views was at like 75,000 previously. So the number of views hasn't skyrocketed, but it's steadily going up. I'm probably going to hit 100,000 views in the next month, and then I'll hit 1,000 subscribers in the next month as well, because I've added 200 and some odd subscribers in the last 30 days.
Nice. Yeah, it's sort of an exponential growth pattern on YouTube, because as you have more subscribers, more people are likely to subscribe. YouTube puts your videos up higher in rankings and all that stuff. So, but yeah, it's pretty good growth.
Yeah, 8,000 views in the last month, 200 subscribers in the last month. So it's pretty good.
We did a pretty good job of spending our money at Entreprogrammer last month. I looked at our accountant sent our bookkeeper sent the revenue report, and we made just over $20,000, and we spent like $19,000.
Yeah, I think it was like $800 in profit.
Yeah, $800 went into the kitty.
I was pretty discouraged by that at first, and then I realized, okay, well, we sent $5,500 to lead pages. I mean drip. We paid for our whole year worth of drip.
Yeah, I got named with mine as well. It cost me $1,400.
And then also so basically between that and my retainer, like if we were, I've just been it's been freaking me out how much money we've been spending, but actually my retainer is a big chunk of that. So when John and I are splitting it 50-50 later, my retainer obviously won't be an expense anymore, so our expenses will drop way down.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Plus we had the advertising expenses.
Yeah, it looks like our email blasts that we did paid off by somewhere. It's hard to calculate, but somewhere in the 300% to 400% range. Profit. So those worked out really well, and we added like 3,000 or 4,000 people to the email list in the process.
Yeah. Yeah,
so that was a good. Yeah, that worked out well.
Yep. So yeah, it's but that's good. That's a pretty good revenue number to hit. So we'll see what I don't think we'll. I think the product revenue was slightly inflated by of course the marketing efforts with the the list.
Well, I think John, I don't know. I think our baseline is around 15,000 a month on product revenue.
I think so. Yeah. I think it will be. Oh, I guess that's true then. So
yeah, because for this month we're already tracking over like close to $600 a day right now.
Yeah. I guess we're at like 4,000 something. So
yeah.
So that's good. Yep. We'll see.
Yeah. So I really think that the May issues were all the SSL nonsense that was. So the only thing that makes any sense, because ever since things went back to normal, it's been like pretty consistent for the last 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I got this week. I got something pretty cool working. I figured out, so in Google Analytics, I figured out how to, when people sign up for one of our email courses, I'm tagging them with a unique ID that ties back to drip. So I can actually see. We're going to be able to track customer lifetime value in Google Analytics accurately, and we're going to be able to see like how people are interacting, like when they buy based on when they subscribed to the email list, all in Google Analytics. So,
oh wow!
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a pain.
Yeah.
But I figured it out. Yeah. The pain in the butt thing is we're using Google Tag Manager, which is really, really cool, but it's also like this weird abstraction layer. Like Google Analytics is just editing the Google tag for the most part, you get a tag out of Google Analytics, and then you can just add stuff to it. But with Google Tag Manager, they give you this GUI that you have to use, and so it's like you have to figure out how to translate the code. It's like you're reversing it from reverse engineering the code and figuring out how that has to look in the GUI, and it's a pain in the butt. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. It'll be pretty sweet. I've been digging into Google Analytics a lot over the last couple of weeks, and we have our revenue tracking working pretty solid. I've got funnel tracking set up for all of our different sales funnels, and I can track, like I'm able to track the people that clicked through from this the mailings that we did and see how much we earn from those. So it's getting there. I really would like. I'm hoping that I'd love for Drip to make this, what I've got set up, make it much easier, and it wouldn't be. It's something they could do if they wanted to. So I'm begging Rob for that.
And now that they have the capital behind them to pay for that.
Yep.
I was sassing Tim Page from Lead Pages because he's been on Freelancer Show twice.
Okay.
And I've met him at this conference and the other podcasting conferences over the last few years. He's the guy that does their webinars. He does their podcast, Conversion Cast, and he's just kind of generally does a whole bunch of marketing for him. And I was like, so I said, my new email list provider is Lead Pages, and he looked at me funny for a minute. He's like, oh, you use Drip.
Yeah, it was funny. It was it's funny because like I complained on the show a couple weeks ago about Lead Pages not having Drip API integration support, and then like 2 days later they rolled it out, and then Rob emailed us. He's like, hey. So now that makes a little more sense why.
Yeah.
I think the Thrive update screwed us.
Speaking of Drip support, so that Webinar Ninja thing, I emailed them and asked them, hey, are you ever going to put Drip support? I really need Drip support. Not on the plan for at least another year.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
I think that'll change with Lead Pages buying Drip, though.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what happens with that, because that is it could pressure people like Thrive to add better support. Or they could be like, you know what, that's helping our competitor. Yeah, we're not gonna. Yeah. It could go either way. I think it'll depend.
I think if they get enough people asking for it, then.
There's I'm looking at the one I'm the most interested in as far as webinars is Webinar Jam. They have out of the box they've got the single-click opt-in feature, which is to me is like a non-negotiable. Like I wouldn't want to have. I'm actually thinking like if I were to get Webinar Ninja. I think what I would do would be do these when I do like a joint venture. I'd send them the one-click Thrive opt-in and say, hey, send this out to your list, and I'll basically tell your list, click this link, and Josh will send you information about how to subscribe. And then I would send them. So I'd send them an email. I'd get the one-click opt-ins and then send them an email with the information about how to register for the webinar versus. Or possibly, I don't know, possibly, Webinar Ninja doesn't have Zapier support either, so.
Not yet. They did say they were going to add that, quote, soon, but that didn't really give me any kind of reasonable timeline.
Yeah, I think anymore, like, the one-click opt-in is, like, a non-negotiable for me. I don't want to pay for a service that doesn't offer that. And Webinar Jam was, like, you can get access for a year for $400, and it's got the one-click opt-in, so... And it's got drip support.
The other ones that they were talking about here were Easy Webinar, which I don't know anything about it. And then there was another presenter down there that was the product they were selling was all about live events. I can't remember what it's called, but it looked pretty darn interesting. And it'll actually work on like Zencaster, or at least it looks like it will.
It's crazy how so many companies are jumping on this. It's such a ridiculous thing like this. Like it's going to collapse down to a few. Well, the webinar selling is going to stop working really, really soon too because too many people are doing it. It's like the new thing to do.
I don't think it. I don't think it will because it's the closest thing that we have to online to like a face-to-face selling. So I think what makes it work is not that it's a tactic. What makes it work is the personal. I think what's going to happen is it'll be harder to get people onto webinars because it won't be as novel.
Exactly.
But as far as like the reason it works is just, and it's the same thing with email. Like the reason email works is because you're able to, it's like personal, and you're able to get, people are kind of inviting you into their personal space, and so, and you're able to stay in touch with people. Like,
it's just that people will not go to webinars. They're not going to sign up for webinars because they all know because it's always a sales pitch now, right? It's like, surprise, we're going to reveal this little box and then it'll say bye, right? It's like now it's going to become that, you know what I mean? Because too many people are jumping on this thing. So I mean it's fine, like, I think it'll work for a while, but everything we've seen, all these tactics always end up being overused, and then they stop working. And it's like you said, Josh, it's because people are just not going to go to webinars. So they're going to be like, okay.
The tactical,
I think it is for people who have an audience that trust them and like them. I think webinars will continue to work for them because what they're going to be doing is capitalizing on that relationship and then building the relationship up during the webinar. And even if there's a pitch at the end, it won't matter. And then the people who are, doofuses about it, and they're going in and they're abusing the people who come to their webinar, then, I think the general efficacy of webinars may go down for people who are trying to pull in cold traffic.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, definitely, at least the industry is not going to support so many webinar softwares like. That for sure is going to collapse down, because that's a crazy gold rush for So.
Yeah, and they kind of all suck right now, and that's the problem. Like as soon as somebody really figures it out and nails it, honestly, GoToWebinar is it's awful, but it's still kind of the best thing out there.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
I actually, as much as I am mad at Webinar Ninja for a number of things. What they're doing with WebRTC will hands down be the winner.
Yeah.
In terms of technology, it probably won't be Webinar Ninja specifically, but the technology that they are using. The problem is going to be just browsers and mobile devices, especially catching up, so that it can be ubiquitous. Because right now it's like, okay, you're a high-tech person, you can go to this webinar because you're on a modern, latest version browser already.
Exactly.
Yeah, the WebRTC stuff. I mean, all of the vendors that I've talked to, they're all using WebRTC.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see where they're taking it and what they're doing with it. Yeah, the one that has a booth downstairs, they actually support side conversations during the live presentation.
Nice.
And so
side video conversations?
Yes. So while the main presentation's going on, is kind of playing in the background, and then you've got your group of friends that are talking, and you can all see and hear each other as well.
Oh, interesting.
The only thing it records is the overall conversation, so it's the main conversation. Those other side conversations don't get recorded, but they're possible.
Like every junior high school teacher's worst nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. Except you can't hear them talking to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And one thing I was thinking about with that whole webinar thing is I was thinking that we could potentially move this call to a webinar software, and then we'd have live chat. But I don't know if we want to have people being able to live chat. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be something to try and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
But I don't know.
We have 4 people watching right now. Hi, viewers, whoever you are.
Yeah, but we'll get replays too on YouTube. So.
Yeah. So, book. I'm at 61,000 words on the book.
Nice.
It's coming
So
along.
you've completed your second book in the series, and you're about to start writing your third.
I'm almost done with section 2 of the
Right,
book.
your second book.
Yeah. That reminds me, I was reading Brandon Sanderson's blog, and he said, "Yeah, I released 2 books at the same time. I couldn't get into the first one, which was, I think, the third book in the series. So I wrote the fourth one to kind of get into it, and then I went back and wrote the third one."
Nice.
Are these like novels or?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's
Fantasy
weird.
novels.
That's interesting.
That's
So
funny.
he knew what the outline was of the story and where the other one was supposed to end. So
Yeah. You could do a lot more with like foreshadowing and stuff if you did it that way.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Write the last book
Write
first,
write them in reverse order.
then splash them out into the world.
But yeah, I think I still got a long way to go. I think that it seems like the entire project, like just on my estimation based on the chapters I have and how much words I have right now, that's going to be 200,000 words total.
Wow.
So,
That's
I
a
think
big book.
soft skills was 150, so this will be big. It'll probably be 2 volumes, I think. So
Derek was right. Second book.
yeah, I think it will be. I think what I'm envisioning now is like I have to check to see if CreateSpace can create that. But I'm thinking like Volume 1 and Volume 2, and then that gives you some selling options. You can sell the complete, Volume 1, Volume 2. You can sell Volume 1 or Volume 2 by themselves, and then package it up in a few different ways. But that's what I'm thinking at this point. So we'll see how it ends up coming out. But
Yep. My brain's fried. I don't want to talk anymore.
And I've been trying to get everything like ready so I can get stuff done or get to China. Got that real estate course like Josh said, recorded that in one day. There's a bunch of people that want it that were messaging me on YouTube or leaving comments because I did a YouTube video and I was talking about it. So I think what we talked about doing was just putting it up on the product page, basically, and
we're basically. So John, we should probably talk about whether to do that before or after that bundle launch. Part of me wants to be part of me says we should probably wait until after the bundle launch because I really wouldn't want anybody buying it at full price because we're gonna sell it for $500.
What is this?
This is the real estate course, John's real estate course.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to talk about it, but I'd hate for somebody to buy it. I don't know what the bundle price is going to be, but I'd hate for them to buy it at $500 and then it gets get the email pitching it for like 100 or something.
But I don't know. I mean, and we'll have to see what they end up doing with the bundle thing as far as the. But I don't know. I mean, in this case too, I'm not too worried because it's like if you spend $500, it doesn't matter if you spend $100 or $500.
That's true.
On something that teaches you how to invest in real estate.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like if it actually helps you, it doesn't that amount of money is
that's true.
Inconsequential.
You're right.
With something else, learning technology or something, be big, different. But for investing in real estate, it's and you're not going to care. You're also okay, I don't care. I could have gotten it for $400 cheaper. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I learned something that's going to make me thousands of dollars. So.
Yeah, you're right.
So.
Yeah, I'm writing a short, which will probably end up being 1,000 words or so. Product description for the bundle launch, and then we're just going to take that and slap it up on the site and stick a $500 price tag on it and see what happens. So I think we'll probably sell a couple a month. I'm not thinking it would be more than that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with that. And then logo redesign is pretty much done for Simple Programmer. So we've got the new logo.
Has there been any backlash?
No backlash. It's interesting. I think it is close enough that most people didn't even notice, and that's what happened. It's weird because, when Coca-Cola updated their logo, and a bunch of companies do this all the time, and you don't even notice. Like and some of them are pretty decent departures. It's just, they leave the same colors. It's close enough that you're like you don't even notice, you know.
Like
Right.
Uber, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, like Uber. Yeah.
No, the worst thing that people do is like they make a huge media event out of it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, for one thing, nobody cares. The only people that care are going to be the people that hate it.
Yeah.
And so it's like a lose-lose proposition. You're like making a big deal about things that your actual customers don't care about, and then you're going to attract some like fringe, you know, 0.1% of your audience is going to hate it, and then it's going to turn into this big firestorm.
Haters gonna hate. Oh, sorry.
But I also got all the covers updated, so I had with 99 Designs. They were supposed to give you the logo and then covers for Facebook, YouTube, and Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the first guy that did the logo didn't really come through on that. But they gave me credit and gave me another designer to specifically work on it, and he produced some pretty good ones. So I've got all those updates. So now we have a consistent covers for all of those that have the new logo. So
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Oh, keep going.
Yeah, I was just gonna. Have either of you guys worked with a designer you'd recommend for like print stuff? No, or
I've gone to 99 Designs for that too, like the book cover and stuff.
We have this media kit that we need to get done, and so far we put it up on 99 Designs, and so far we haven't gotten any bites on it. So I have a feeling it's like.
I think you're overthinking it. I would just go to. You have your logo for your company.
Yeah.
So I would just take it to Upwork and just see what you get.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I also made the prize for the 99 Designs only $300 for this one, for the media kit, because I wanted to start, because it doesn't have to be that complicated. It's like, it's basically just like, you know, I don't know. But it's essentially an infographic. Maybe that's where we need to go. I mean, there's a few different ways. I figured I'd just start with this contest, a simple one, and see what happens. But we might end up on Upwork, or we might end up doing a different, like, higher price design contest, or rewriting this to say.
I don't think it has to be that involved.
No, we just wanted to make it look good, right? You know, it's like it's worth putting the investment into this initially.
Yeah. Have you had them created, Chuck?
What, press kit?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mandy did it.
Mandy did it? Okay.
And I think she's
available here.
Yeah, she did it, and I think she just adapted Peter Cooper's.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what we like. We kind of like. I mean, that's kind of the look that I wouldn't mind having. So.
Yeah.
Welcome to the entrefuckingassholes.com.
So I have a question related to the design stuff. I am considering getting devchat.tv redesigned. Most of what's above the fold isn't what people want to see, and I think it could be better optimized. I actually asked people what they usually go to the website to look at, and 80% of the people that said they were going to the website said they were looking for links to the pics. And then most of the rest of the people were looking for links to something else that we mentioned that would be in the show notes.
Right.
I got one word for you. Flash. Bring back Flash.
No, John, with you, it's Flex.
That's so awesome. I would totally support that. Chuck, you should consider doing a you should experiment with using the pics as a content upgrade to get subscribers. Like similar to what Derek did with the video. Mm-hmm. Right? He's got the enter your email address and I'll give you the video thing, which is working out quite well, right?
Yeah, I'm getting like 35% conversion rate on those. It's pretty ridiculous.
What are you doing?
If you go to watchmecode.net and hit any of the free videos, like click on series and scroll all the way to the bottom, There's the Q&A series.
Mm-hmm.
Click on any of those Q&A episodes in that series, and if you're not a subscriber, and if you're not already on my mailing list, then you'll get enter your email address to watch this free video, which is done with Thrive. It's built into Thrive. It's a content gate, content lock with Thrive. And I'm getting a ridiculously high conversion rate on those. I don't get a ton of traffic to those videos right now. I'm starting to get a fairly regular flow to them, but in the last, I don't know, 3 weeks or a month or whatever, I've had 591 impressions, 205 conversions, so that's a conversion rate of 34.7%, which is pretty phenomenal.
I got to make a quick point on this too, real quick, and then we'll get back to Chuck's question. So one of the things that I've been able to do with Google Analytics lately is, so you know the term bounce rate, which is like people that come to your site and then they just leave immediately, right? They don't click to anything else. Well, the way that Google Analytics calculates a bounce rate is they don't calculate. They count anyone who only visits one page, and well, let me try that again. You can't measure how much time people are actually spending reading on your pages the way that Google Analytics is set up. If they don't click to a second page, Google registers that as a 0. So you don't really have an accurate picture. And like I decided that if somebody spends 30 seconds reading a page, that's not a bounce because they're actually engaging, right?
Right.
So our actual bounce rate went from when I put this change in, our actual bounce rate went from like 80+ % to 24%. So like 3/4 of people are staying and reading our content for at least 30 seconds, and that is after I slap them in the face with a pop-up immediately. So I don't want to hear anyone ever say again that you're sending people away by putting a pop-up in front of them.
Yeah,
like the number of people that actually care about it is very small.
That's interesting.
Prompted to enter their email address. I have it set to recur every week.
Can you email the
list
and tell me how to do that, Josh? Because I have like an 85% bounce rate right now.
Yep. Yeah, it's really easy to do.
And I'm pretty sure that there are people that are not really bouncing, because if I look at bounce rate in one place, I see, this page has a huge bounce rate, but if I go look at somewhere else to see how long people are spending on that page, it's like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. Basically, all you do is you set a timer and you wait 30 seconds, and then you fire an event in Google Analytics, and it says, okay, they stayed on this page for at least 30 seconds. That's not a bounce. We're not going to count.
I'd like to know how to do that too. So.
Yep, I'll email you guys. It's pretty straightforward.
It makes sense too when you look at like the big site like Business Insider and Entrepreneur.com and stuff. Like what they do is a lot more offensive than a pop-up that you can click 1x or type your email, or it's offering you something. Yeah. They have like a stupid commercial that shows up, and it's like, and then they pull all this crap like click to see the next slide in the that stuff is really like a lot more annoying than just one pop-up that you just push one button to get rid of, and you don't have to wait 10 seconds to do it.
My pop-ups show immediately, like the instant you hit the page, boom. And like, because a lot of people say, you should show the pop-up on the second screen that they see, not the first screen. Well,
they're not going to the second screen.
They're not going to. 85% of them won't, but they also won't be turned off by 75% won't be deterred by seeing the pop-up immediately, so why not?
Right. So
back to Chuck's question.
My issue with making them enter their email address to get the links to the pics is that I feel like it's a part of the show and it's our chance to promote stuff. And so I actually want people to click the links on the pics.
You could always try it as an experiment, though. I mean, like if you people might actually be, when you collect those email addresses, you can get those people to come back to the next show and the next show and the next show. That's the thing. There's the dilemma, like there's this big dilemma in the content marketing world is very divided on this, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, you should just put your content out there because people like it. They're more likely to come back. Well, what's the percentage of people that come back based just purely on like, oh gosh, I really liked what Chuck had in that free blog post, so I'm gonna type in his URL and go back.
Yeah,
How
right.
often does that happen? Versus
Never.
I get an email that reminds me that you exist, and I click a link.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying allow them to subscribe to get emails for the picks for the shows?
Yeah, well, either that or it would be like they unlock it, and then you just add them to your list, and they're getting episode updates. So
yeah, but they get that anyway.
Well, but some of them, the people that are getting the episode updates wouldn't see the lock.
Okay, I've got a solution for you.
How do I do that with Drip though?
That's what Derek's got going. Right,
Yeah,
Derek?
that's yes, that's the Thrive content lock.
Yeah.
So it's in Thrive. It's not your normal grouping of pop-ups and stuff. There's
so they just put their email address in one time, and then they get access to the pics forever.
Forever, as long as their Thrive cookie exists. And then when I send people to my site from a Drip email, I always include the URL parameters in the links that disables all Thrive pop-ups.
Right. So they would.
Yeah.
Clicking it, they
so
would.
Once you're on my list, if you click a link in my email list, you're never going to see a pop-up again.
You guys are going to get an email from me because I'm kind of digging this because I don't feel terrible about asking them for their email address one time to get access to all this stuff.
Here's what I would do.
Like if you're on Watch Me Code and you want to watch a free video, great, you're going to get access to all the free videos. Just entering your email address that one time, and I even very specifically say that in my little box where enter your email address and you'll get access to all free Watch Me Code episodes.
Yeah.
So here's an idea. What if you do it this way? What if you make it so that you could do kind of what I'm doing with the soft skills book links? So anytime someone clicks a pick link, it takes them to a landing page, and it says, "Hey, would you like to get a download of the best picks that we've had over the years?" And you just compile this list of what are the best picks. You can look at who's clicked the most or what's your own personal. Give them some kind of bonus, because if they're already interested in that pick, they're probably interested in the best picks, right? You've got a pretty good, and then you have that little welcome gate, and if they put in their email address, then it'll forward them on to the link they're supposed to go to, and then there can be a no thanks if they just want to go to the pick. Then you're sort of getting best of both worlds, and you're probably going to get extremely high conversion rate, because if you're already clicking a pick, why wouldn't you want another one? And then it's not forcing them. There is an option to say no thanks. I don't want the best picks ever. I'm a dumbass.
I hate picks except for the one I just clicked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That's another good option. And I've got some code that you could use that will make your life a living hell for a day.
Yeah. But the thing is I have a reaction to this, but then I realize I may try it and nobody may complain. So I may as well at least, put it up for a week and then see if people go, oh! Or if people just, click it and they're, that's it.
Click here to record yourself going, oh!
Yeah.
I know, I need to put that into a soundboard.
And the way that you get, like, any time you do anything like this, there are going to be a few people that squeal like that. Yeah. The question you have to just be satisfied in your own mind that you are genuinely helping. It's not a selfish thing to ask people for their email addresses. Right. Yes, you benefit. So do they.
So to illustrate that, I'm looking at my conversion report for Thrive on derekbeta.com, and on July 6th, I got this email address registered. Fuck you for making @this.popup.
Yes. Yeah, we get those too.
You gotta get
got one that was fuck this popup at devchat.tv.
Exactly.
And what's funny is that because it's single opt-in, I started getting double emails for the Ruby Road stuff.
Catch-all for your email address.
Yeah. Anything at devchat.tv goes to me.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm actually, that's another thing that, well, I won't change the topic. We can talk about it later. But yeah, So I finally had to unsubscribe myself.
That's pretty awesome.
Some people take up these battles, these these flags.
Yeah, but they're like one of like two people.
I know. It's like it just creates stress for themselves in their lives, and it's like, and it doesn't do any good, and it doesn't cause It doesn't cause any good in the world. It just causes harm. And it just creates bitterness within them, and it just I don't understand it. And
it took me a month and a half to get around to unsubscribing. That's all it did.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand these crusades that people take up. It's like, and sometimes it causes extreme harm in the world, as we've seen in the last day when you take up when you incite people, but. Hopefully there won't be a plop-up revolution and we all get killed.
Yeah. All right. Well, I need to call my wife because she's traveling today and I'm traveling tomorrow. So, if any of you are in Chicago and you're watching this like today or tomorrow, I'm going to be at Portillo's over on Ontario in Chicago, and I would love to meet you.
Oh, and real quick, I have to give a quick update on the fitness sync since someone requested it. I don't know if you guys saw the comment, but I'm down to like 8.1% body fat, and I'm up like 2 pounds. So
nice.
Yeah.
Is that it then? Are you're not going to be able to? Are you calling it quits for the China trip, or?
I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna be. I'm probably not even gonna be able to lift at all. I may not be able to run during the China trip, so I'm just gonna hopefully try to do some body weight exercises and stuff, and then when I come back, then I'm gonna push to get down to the 7%.
Well, and I think diet may be an issue too, just because who knows what they have or what it is.
Yeah, I'm still gonna be fasting, like just eating dinner.
Right.
But yeah, I won't be able to control most of those elements. But that's fine because I'm where I'm at now. I should be able to maintain it.
Well, and I think there's
John,
an important lesson
you could eat
here.
5 meals a day for the next month, and you'd come back with only gaining like a pound.
Yeah, his body weight percentage would get to 10, or his fat percentage would get to 10%. And you'd be like, no. But I think there's a lesson here in that. John is pretty committed to, having this kind of lifestyle. I'll just make this into my thought. He's pretty committed to, to having this body weight percentage and all these things, but he's still out there going out and living his life.
Right.
And I think sometimes we get real focused on a particular goal or a particular aspect of our life, and it's not even that it's not important, but you still have to go out and live.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So for my thought for the week, stop starting and start finishing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Love it. Although starting to finish, I don't know. I'll have to think about that one.
Shut down, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I didn't. The other thing I forgot to mention, I did run my first 20 miles last week.
Awesome.
It took me like 3.5 hours straight running, so almost at the 26 for the marathon.
I will not be doing that anytime soon.
No, it's not fun. I was delusional on the last mile. I was running with my eyes closed.
You heard the Chariots of Fire theme song playing in your head, and you had your arms in the air,
running down the beach.
I guess I'm gonna go. I guess I'll go with the burn the bridges, or burn the boats rather.
I did that months ago, and I'm really wishing I had a boat to sail home with right now. This has not been fun.
Yeah. I've definitely committed myself to this product launch, and I got to get this. Got to make it happen now. So.
I think my boats are on fire right now.
Yeah, you do want to get off the boat before you set it on
before
fire.
You burn it. Yes. That's important.
Now I have blisters on my hands and feet. Thanks.
So let's see. I think my thought. I think I'll go where I shouldn't go. I think I'll talk about. I think I would say that don't look at the world through the lens that media portrays it. It's a very dangerous way to look at the world. And and I think that believing that the world is fair, it can give you a very, very skewed perception of the world to make you feel like life is unfair and there's so much injustice in the world. And I mean, because that's what the media's job is. And and don't promote that either, because yeah, life is unfair. Everything is not fair. There is discrimination. There is, racial problems. There is prejudice. There's all those things. But it's not as bad as what, certain people would incite you to believe. And just having having the perspective in your life of do what you can do. Do what good you can do. Don't, they're crying foul all the time and upsetting people and causing a ruckus without actually taking real action that actually makes a difference, a positive difference, not a negative difference, but a positive difference in people's lives, only causes problems. And with the whole Dallas shooting, I think that just goes to show you. Like, I think that there's certain responsibility. We live in a country where we have free speech, and that's great, but there's a certain social justice warriors that incite people. It's not just something that you tweet out or you retweet this thing or post on Facebook and it doesn't cause any harm, because I don't think that that level of incitement caused the death of essentially 5 innocent police officers, and it's just sobering, I think, to remember that people are looking through this lens of the media. They're getting incited, and they're inciting other people, and they don't see any harm in that. And it's better to just live your life, do the good that you can do, and when there's real sweeping social injustices, I'm all for that. I'm all for Martin Luther King Jr. and for reforms where there's an actual goal. But if your goal is just to piss people off or incite them, that's not a good thing. That's not a good goal, and you're feeding right into the media, which is just trying to use strife to make money off of people, and they don't care who gets hurt, who gets killed, what the injury is, and we've seen this. I mean, it's not just this issue, but it's the whole political campaign, all of these things. I think a lot of us are getting baited into this. And it doesn't, the end result is nothing good happens, and it doesn't help you as a person, in your life. So I would just say, do not look at the world through the lens that media shows you, would be my thought. So.
I agree. I really do.
All right. So I think next week, are we all going to be here?
Yep.
I'm going to be.
Oh, wait. Nope, I'm doing another conference.
Those conferences.
I know.
You should hire someone to help you with those things. No, I'll be in Northern California, but I'll be here. So, and then I will be in China, and we'll see. All bets are off after next week.
All right. See you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.